it's me again. Today's date is July 27th, 2023. It's a Thursday, and that took like 2 takes because they kept saying January. It's so hot. My brain is frozen. No reprieve in Texas from that heat. In an effort to resemble what it thinks is a cool person, FINRA has published a series of transcriptions between NextBridge Hydrocarbons and themselves, and this goes from April, May, and June. And they even say, "Look, we're trying to be transparent about this." So let's take another closer, compelling look. FINRA correspondence with NextBridge Hydrocarbons, April through June 2023. In the interest of transparency and clarity, FINRA is posting the correspondence between FINRA and NextBridge Hydrocarbons, referenced in their July 26, 2023 press release. So it looks like FINRA took notice of NextBridge writing about them, and then we noticed FINRA noticing that, and there's just rapid exchanges of notices going on. So FINRA pays attention. That's kind of like Charles Schwab putting out that internal memo to employees because I spoke with the DTCC, and the DTCC person gave me a script to tell brokers. Charles Schwab, upon seeing that, created their own script for their own employees to tell you to counter my script. So, again, there was a noticing of scripts going on. So FINRA's first letter. This is dated April 18th, 2023 via email, and it was sent by the CEO of NextBridge, Clifton DuBose. He says, FINRA, look, lots of stuff's been going on. Many people believe that the stock is shorted. Then there was this U3 halt. People believed that they would be able to trade the stock on December 9th and December 12th. We even have video of the vice president of the OTC markets saying that it'll trade on such days, the 9th and the 12th. FINRA issued a U3 trading halt on these 2 days, so stockholders didn't have the opportunity. As noted in the FINRA FAQs, there's also that coding error in respect to the MMTLP security. FINRA incorrectly classified as MMTLP as a stock security on a non-SEC reporting company, and as a result published its threshold security list from October 22nd, 2021 through January 4th, and then October 17th, 2022 through December 13th, 2022. And then, of course, many stockholders were frustrated upon learning this, and which FINRA is like, oh, we made a mistake, we will do nothing. Stockholder complaints have grown at a rapid rate, a mean staccato indeed. And then they say, hey, look, we propose, trade to close 2 trading days, as noted on page 2. And look, we plan to arrange with the DTCC and FINRA the QSIP number, ticker symbol that will be signed to NextBridge Hydrocarbons to allow for trading. And then it'll be deleted. And at the time of the halt, there was 165.472 million shares of MMTLP. And it's paramount that only the 165.472 million shares are traded. They go on to create different concessions. The company will not sell any new shares on the temporary trading period. The company has filed its certificate of merger with the Texas Secretary of State, and the completion of the merger with Wolfbone Investments, and the issuance of the shares of NextBridge Hydrocarbons to Greg McCabe. They said, in order to execute this plan, we need your help, FINRA. Take action immediately. If FINRA has a different preferred path to address the issues raised in this letter, NextBridge welcomes discussion of these issues, and we look forward with working with you to resolve this. So FINRA, if you got any better ideas, we'd love to hear it. A month later, FINRA publishes their response. They said, hey, Mr. DuBose, I'm writing a response to your letter transmitted by FINRA on April 19th, in which you state that NextBridge Hydrocarbons have received numerous complaints. And they say, look, because, MMTLP was deleted on December 14th, they can no longer be traded. But you are welcome to get a DTCC eligible structure, obtain a QSIP, ticker symbol, all that. However, we cannot let you trade only for that short period of time because that's not how we operate. We say no to that. Because then we have to let all these other companies trade to close out positions, and we don't even force shorts to close. Okay, so you're thinking here, let's take a break. You're thinking here, Burr Lady at the shorts one. No, because guess who forces the shorts to close? It's the broker. If FINRA's not going to do it, the broker. Of course, the broker is pointing its fingers back at FINRA saying, well, we couldn't close positions. FINRA didn't give us any instructions to. Again, they're pointing the finger back at FINRA. Hence, the next step is, okay, let's see if we can transfer everything to AST. So as a result of this, press release and saying we're going to do that AST thing, we tried to work with you, FINRA. FINRA is showing this. Basically, FINRA says, no, we can't do that. Our regulations won't allow you to trade for 2 days closed position only. That's a very short time. That's a very limited trading. You could only do full trading after obtaining DTCC eligibility and the QSIP, the ticker symbol, and all that. And even then, we can't stop the trading. And it's going to be full-on trading. Take it or leave it. So NextBridge says that we'll do our own thing. We'll, maybe the brokers, apply pressure to these brokers, like that Charles Schwab memo. Apply pressure to brokers because brokers can force that to happen. Brokers are left with the power to reconcile the shares. Do brokers want this liability? Brokers want to carry this liability. They owe you NextBridge shares. Speaking of which, I did call up Chase today, and I'll be posting that conversation shortly, probably in the next video or two. But this news came out. Chase said that it would be $25 for me to register all my shares at Chase, which is 5,514 shares just at Chase, with AST, the transfer agent, and that can take up to 6 weeks. I worked with a gentleman named Juan. He said it was all set, no paperwork's needed. We'll see. So far, I haven't gotten anything from Chase. Like, the $25 hasn't been taken out by cash and sweeps in my investment account there. I've got no other notification from them. We will see. They might have said, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. And, are they going to do it? Or are they not going to do it? We'll call them up later. Broker, I said, broker, put them in AST. You have a fiduciary duty to do this. But let's move on. Back to the letters. FINRA then goes on to recite their role in the markets, and they cite some different rules and regulations. But brass tacks, FINRA says we can't do it. That said, FINRA's actions are limited by jurisdiction, rules, and government by its processes, procedures that must apply to all potential quotations and trading activity in any OTC equity securities. The scenario that you described in your letter, whereby steps will be taken by FINRA and other third parties to facilitate your desire to end trading markets that may develop in NBH common stock after a relatively short predetermined length of time. Does that comport with FINRA's understanding and its authority and applicable regulations, processes, and market practice? Meaning, does it jive with FINRA? And as such, FINRA cannot and will not take actions that are inconsistent with its authority. And it says do not enhance investor protection and market integrity. Or we could debate about that one. If helpful, I'm willing to discuss this. There's 3 guys. It's yours truly, Robert Colby, with a copy to James Harrigan, Jason Schumacher, and Jack Jacobson, and John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. All right. And then, furthermore, if that wasn't enough, FINRA follows it up with a 3rd letter. And it talks about the blue sheets. And it's like, you requested the blue sheets. And it says, we can't give it to ya. Many internal members with FINRA cannot be given blue sheets themselves. So no, you can't have those either. Okay, we can have the blue sheets. We can't trade this to close. It's all trade or nothing. What are we to do? Well, we have a new plan. We are going to start applying pressure on the brokers by registering with AST. And again, as I stated last video, register with AST if there is some sort of settlement or NextBridge does sell shares to brokers who wish to close out such a liability. You would then be given a dividend of the proceeds. Registering your shares with AST does not negate your dividend of those proceeds. You will still get your dividend. Do you have to register your shares with AST? No, you don't. What happens if you don't register your shares with AST? Then you don't get the extra interest in the Oro Grande or the Nuco share. You could either choose to keep them as is or register them. Right now I'm doing half and half. I've sent half to AST, or at least I thought I started half the process to AST. And my other half at E-Trade, we will see. Again, E-Trade wanted heavier fee than $25, but we'll see if I can talk to E-Trade. And that's it for today, guys. It's interesting how FINRA put this out. Because NextBridge is like, look, we talked with FINRA. They said no. So we're going to do our plan. And of course, FINRA's like, oh, in an effort to be transparent, yes, you did talk with us. Here we go. Why didn't FINRA tell about this earlier? They could have told us this in June. They waited a month later. They could have told us this in May when they responded to the first letter. FINRA also takes a long time to respond to letters, I'll tell you that. A month to respond to a letter? Okay, guys, that's it for today. I will see you soon. Goodbye.